really grow. You know, you can't really even grow anywhere else because you're limited what you can do. Because you get there's so many fighters in Russia, and they're all like sitting idle and doing nothing. You know, like teaching whatever. Like they chose a path. They trained some kind of world champion and this and that, and made a name for themselves. And then career just stops because two governments decide to do what they're doing. You know, so it's crazy.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, being at Jackson Wink as long as you have, what have you really learned from being there and just being around, you know, because, like, those two are, like, almost Yoda-type level when it comes to MMA knowledge and the way they think about things. What have you learned being there?
Oh, man, so much. I mean, I learned that I belong here in this game. It's the most exciting game if you like martial arts and like training like UFC or any type of fights. And this is absolutely awesome place to be. And I learned that how to deal with some of the toughest people on the planet, people that can take your head off anytime. I learned how to control that situations because there's a lot of hot-headed dudes, you know, come through, and my job is to collect money and deal with them on all kind of issues, you know, and people come from so many tough backgrounds and you know, in some ghettos or some other countries that just like so poor, you know, so I get all kind of people here. And then I just learned how to be strong myself, you know, and just being able to control very like tough situations. Probably the biggest thing that I learned, how to always be in that spot that I can figure out how to control, you know, no matter if you're dealing with John Cowboy or Carlos Condit or all the lower level fighters. It's like everyone has a crazy personality because they bash brains for a living, you know. So just have to adjust and figure out, you know, we have so many fights every weekend, so a lot of organizational skills, a lot of like multitasking, staying on top of everything, make sure everybody is, you know, kind of happy because fighters get heated quick and they throw their hands up real quick, you know, so it's kind of like, chill, dude, you know, so it's like, yeah, it's a fun job, but like, I was born for it.
Yeah, they are. I mean, that is the thing that, you know, obviously not two humans aren't the same. Some people are similar, but you guys have so many fighters coming through there that you have to literally wear either, you know, whatever phrase you want to use, a mask or a hat to deal with each person. How is that kind of, how have you kind of managed that when it came to trying to handle this personality who, you know, may not get along with this other guy or girl's personality to where this third person's personality, you know, and just, but still making a cohesive and co-working type place like that?
Well, again, like I put out fires on the daily, right? Like the fighters, because we have about 50, 60 people that live here, so they all fight, they take things from each other. It's not that bad. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not that bad because like they know, you know, things happen obviously, you know, when like liquor gets involved and stuff like that, but you know, they go outside on the weekends. Always something happens on the weekend. Not always, but it happens, you know, when they go to a party or strip clubs, whatever the hell they do. And then, you know, because everybody want to run around and scream and yell that I'm a fighter, I'm a Jackson Wink fighter, you know, so just not realizing that they ruin our reputation. So we always have to kind of like tell those guys, let's chill, especially in this town, you know. And then, you know, they always fight. I mean, they beat the crap out of each other, you know. Sometimes it gets too heated or guy gets cracked hard with a knee and the guy didn't have knee pads, or it gets hit with an elbow and the guy didn't have elbow pads. It becomes this whole like, you know, F you and, you know, this and that, and they start yelling, screaming. You know, if people cutting weight, they're always angry, you know what I'm saying? They're hungry, or it's, you know, if the weight's not coming off, or you know, people get depressed or their career doesn't go through, so many fights fall through. I mean, we have our own management company with 150 fighters on the roster, for worldwide, you know. It's like 65, maybe 70% of them get to the fights, you know. So it's a lot, because there's so many moving parts, so things fall apart easy, you know. Either it's a promoter canceled the event, the other guy didn't make weight, or our guy can make weight. Some happy with pay, the coach can make it. So there's so many moving parts, like, you know, fighter does something, you know, miss their flight, just always some kind of crazy stuff. They'll sign up for the fight, and the next day it's like, oh no, I can't take that fight. My job doesn't let me go. I'm like, why would you even take that fight? Why would you, you know, like, there's so many like scenarios that affect, you know, the outcome, of the fight happening or not. And then, you know, then they might lose. If they lose, obviously, you know, let's say it's especially like if it's a very high level prospect, you think like, okay, this guy's 5-0, 6-0, he's right there close to UFC, and then boom, you lose one fight and get knocked out. Like, it's such a hard thing to see, and then you get to see him the next day when I come back, and just like, yeah, everything be alright, bro. Get back in there. Get back in there. You chose this path, so don't, the cage closes. It's 50-50, no matter who you fight.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always have to, you know, have these pep talks with the guys, and always have a communication with these guys and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine like trying to deal with that many personalities, and like you said, once alcohol or, you know, any other drug gets involved, like things get ramped up real fast. And if they're already passionate people,
alcohol being the worst. Alcohol is the worst.
Yeah,
like, alcohol is the worst. Every single despair, any single situation in this country, in this world, any kind of like crazy stuff that happened was under the influence of liquor for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not getting a bunch of potheads fucking fighting her out. It's just not going to happen.
Nope. I just want to chill, play video games, and eat chips, for sure.
Now, when it comes to y'all's gym, you guys can't just take everybody. What is the vetting process like?
No, I mean, listen, so we expanded so much that obviously, you know, the overhead is huge. It's a very big building, 30,000 square feet. And then, you know, we have a basic MMA program, so we have amateur MMA program, and we have a pro MMA program, you know. So we did expand for basic, you know, kind of cater to basic MMA as well. They train separate hours. It's not as busy on the side. So we have but for MMA program for straight up like high level, obviously you have to get vetted by the coaches. So like you start with the amateur MMA program. If you're already pro coming in, then obviously if they're shared dog and everything, we know you're pro, you know, then you go and train with the pros. But amateurs, they kind of have to earn their spot, you know, and prove themselves. So, and then I have a website where they go submit an application so I can review their information, and based on that, I bring them in to which program they can attend. But our main focus, obviously, pro MMA.
That's awesome. Now, when it comes to cornering somebody, how do the calls into the cage work? Do you guys, before you go in, kind of have an idea as to who's going to be the main person? Does anybody just shout out anything? Are y'all using codes? Like, how does the call work when you're cornering somebody?
Yeah, I mean, codes, and the fighter chooses obviously if the fighter goes in, there's those who he works with, right?
Yeah.
Who is getting him ready. So whoever they feel comfortable with. And then, yeah, it's usually one person speaks, you know, and they take turns or whatnot. Depends on the situation. And they have a system, you know.
Yeah, I know everybody's got a different system, so I was trying to check what y'all was. Yeah.
It's simple, the codes and stuff. Wink and Greg, they just rotate, you know.
Now, when it came to moving to New Mexico, where you guys are, it is even a higher altitude than Denver is. How was that transition for you? Was it an issue at all, or was it just something that, just as soon as you got there, you kind of already felt home?
I felt home here right away. I don't know. I love this environment. Like, I love the mountains. I live by the mountains. I feel like I'm on some kind of vacation. And then, it's just beautiful here. The weather is absolutely amazing. Short winter, short summers, usually very comfortable, like 70 degrees during the day, No traffic. No, I lived on the East Coast for most of my life. Hated it. New York, New Jersey. I hated it there. Here, just everything is just perfect. Obviously, if it wasn't for the gym, I wouldn't be here, but it's kind of like everything fell into place.
So how do you, what do you miss most about being away from home?
So, sorry again, sir. Can you say it?
No, you're fine. What do you miss most about being away from home?
From Russia?
Yes, sir.
Well, I've been here for forever, since 1996, so it's like...
Oh, wow, okay.
I don't miss nothing, really. I went there a bunch of times. I brought Diego Sanchez to Russia to compete in a grappling tournament. I went to some other tournaments. So I've been coming and going. Right now it's crazy. I don't want to go there, but I don't miss nothing, really. I mean, my sons are born here. My life kind of... I was inserted here when I was young. Didn't understand nothing. I was 15 years old, so... But America is the greatest country on earth, man. With all this crazy shit going around right now, people don't have no idea, what it's like. But I can kind of judge, I grew up during communism, and during socialism and all that crap. And being here and achieving what I achieved and having a house and having a good life, people don't understand how great this country is.
Yeah, it is funny how much people, as much as they want to talk shit about, being in America or America in general, they have the freedom to do that. You can't do that in a lot of other countries. You talk shit about your government or any of the leaders, that's it for you. You're either in the jail or, you're in the ground. Like, there's no in between.
Right.
As opposed to here, you could tweet all day or put on Instagram or make, TikTok about how much you hate the country, but you're able to do that, and that's what the freedom is.
What bothers me, everyone is a victim. Everyone is oppressed in one way or another. I'm like, really, man? Like, really? You can rise up above all of this if you put that type of idea of thinking behind you. That you just put a leash on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put a leash on yourself. If you constantly feel like you're oppressed and this and that and stuff like this, you're never going to reach your potential because you're holding yourself back, thinking that that's what's happening. There's so many successful people and things that are done in this country, that you can do as well. Anyone can. It doesn't matter your skin color, you're this, you're that, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of success to be had in this country. People don't understand that.
Yeah, that is the other side of it. As much as they want to talk shit about this country, the time that they're using to do that, they could be to bettering themselves or bettering their situation, making a better life for not only themselves, but their family, their friends. It's just unfortunate that so many people want to use that negative, that energy in general for negative as opposed to positivity.
Right. America is the richest, like, if you think about it, obviously, for the amount of millionaires and billionaires, America stands above the rest, right? Above the rest, miles long by amount of rich people that were able to succeed, or, it's insane. Like, how these people, a lot of these people come from nothing too, How about athletes and sports and things like that? Like, you don't have opportunities like this in other countries, It's crazy.
Yeah. It truly is. Now, you kind of touched on, jiu-jitsu earlier, and you are a black belt. From what I've heard, that once you get your black belt in jiu-jitsu, you start over again, because then you are now the least experienced black belt person in the room.
Right.
Do you have the same feeling, or do you feel that there's always more to learn when it comes to jiu-jitsu?
Well, I have a little different story now because I'm unable to train. I have like some major back problems, so I'm trying to resolve it, trying to figure out what it is. So it's driving me bananas. and I went to train on so Saturday, and I can barely sit.